All right, so good evening, everybody. We about to just kick it a little bit. We were talking in the car, um,
That was a couple of days
yeah,
ago.
a couple of days ago, and I was asking my wife. I said, "Man, you know, unintentionally, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day, or it's kind of intentional, but I think right out the back, maybe before we got married, I kind of did a whole bunch of extra stuff just to try to, set a Valentine's Day staple standard that could probably never be outdone. And so I pretty much, you know,
You just killed it.
I killed it. It was dead. I had to find a way to after, to express my love and my affirmation for my wife. But that's when she wasn't quite mine yet. So then when I put a ring on it and she became my wife, and then we started to shift the way that we approach Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is this February 14th, holiday that's made up full of candy hearts and balloons and flowers and all these
Light up
fluffy
roses.
things that everybody like. And we're not trying to rain on nobody's parade. Do what you do. Uh, translate it however you need to and love it and feel it and all that kind of stuff. That's beautiful. That's great. But we just thought about, ourselves, why we particularly don't celebrate Valentine's Day. And I asked my wife, I said, hey, is that something that I know that's something you've adapted, but is that something you want? You need me to get you some roses. You need me to buy you a couple dozen, because I will, even though you don't particularly, always love flowers that way, but I'll do it if it needs to. And she was like, no, it's not really important. And I was like, I know, I'm glad we made that conscious decision and that we're both there. So we decided that we'll just go on tonight, do a quick live before Valentine's Day about why we, the Glens, don't celebrate Valentine's Day.
I think it's just, it's interesting because, first of all, I was glad that my husband even just was like doing a check in, just a check in about is this something that you still cool with or do you want something else? So just that whole check in was just, major cool points for him on that.
That's
But
cool.
when I responded to him, it was interesting because nowhere in me did I feel like I needed the flowers or the balloons or the perfume or, like none of that. And then I even tried to, like, after I responded to him, I even went in my own head and tried to think about, like when I was working at a school, how did I feel then? And I think, really, to be honest with you, in my heart, what I responded to him, first of all, let me say that. What I responded to him and I said, it's not necessary because Valentine's Day, you said to me, was a man made holiday. Even though he knocked it out the box when we were engaged, it just always kind of stayed there with me that it was a man made holiday. And for somebody to say that this is the day that you acknowledge and you tell the person that you love all of these chocolate, balloons, all this kind of stuff on this day. That's the day that you're supposed to tell them that kind of stuff. And it just didn't kind of settle with me because I was like, we don't need a day or anybody to tell us to do that. We do that when we feel like we need to do that. And the chemistry that is between us will let us know when we need to do that. So that can't be just a day. That can't be just February the 14th or every single Wednesday. That's the day that I'm going to surprise you with something or to give you something or to let you know I love you. I should be letting you know that I love you every day, either in some deed or with conversation. You want to say something?
I was just going to say, I wasn't trying to get off the hook by saying, hey, we're not trying to celebrate Valentine's Day because it's a pagan holiday. Because if it's something that you feel like is important, then it's a value statement, that I'll make that investment. But, I think, number one, the biggest point of we only got 3 points of why we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. And the biggest point that why we don't celebrate Valentine's Day is, like she said, we try to make it in our culture of our family, of our relationship, just that we have this honor, this love, this culture of celebration, this culture of, you know, picking up cards and little surprises and finding your favorite things and looking for your favorite things, you know, when we're at the store anytime. So we're not like, I don't feel this pressure on the week of Valentine's Day. Oh my God, what I'm going to get her that I didn't buy her last year. You know, I hope that I live to love her in the type of way that she really lived, not really to need a lot of anything but my undying love and affection, my 100%, you know, commitment and dedication, so that as guys, you know, we just end up playing a game sometimes. It starts to be this competition, and we try to give and outgive and pre-give and overgive, and it doesn't even really end up being from a genuine place necessarily. It just ends up trying to be better than last year. You know, I'm going to find you a card better than the one I gave you last year. I'm going to find you a diamond or a pendant or a necklace or some earrings or a watch or a ring or, you know, some perfume or whatever better than I gave you last year. But you know, when something new comes out that I feel like my wife should have and that I want her to have, I don't wait till Valentine's Day, and I don't withhold myself from gathering it or buying it or purchasing it simply because it's not a holiday or it's not her birthday. So by the time we get to a Valentine's Day, I mean, realistically, when I ask her, hey, is this something you want or something you need or something you're looking for? Very rarely is it an item. You know, sometimes it might be a little bit of attention or a little bit of time, you know what I'm saying? But it's very rarely it's another item that she wants or that she's trying to get from me.
But the thing is that I guess for me, a gift would mark a moment. So like for your anniversary or whatever, you want to mark that moment. So right. That when you refer back to that and you ask, somebody's like, oh, that is so nice. When did you get? Oh, my husband bought it for my 5th anniversary. So that marks a moment and you can remember that. But to me, on Valentine, especially for gentlemen, okay, just for the guys, I'm just being honest with you. If you don't know your woman's love language, you getting her a whole bunch of balloons and some candy
Wasting your money.
It's just a waste of money. And she gonna be like, oh yes, that's so wonderful. But mainly it's wonderful because she's been desiring that attention from you and that intentionality from you. And it has nothing to do with the gift. Well, it has everything to do with the intentionality of it all.
And especially if you spend all that attention on that day, and then the next day or 2 days later, there's no attention to the same level or the same degree. Then we made the moment special, but we didn't make the merit special, right? And when we make the moment special and not make the merit special, then it doesn't have any lasting continuity in it. And so even though he's happy or she's happy for the moment or for the gift, then it's really not sustainable.
But this is I mean, I'm so glad we're doing this. Today I was driving in a car and I was just thinking about, you know, guys who like, oh, you know, like if a woman sees another woman's handbag or any other kind of expensive gift, I always sometimes count that as guilt gifting, you know.
Only if he did something.
Exactly. But I'm just flow with me for a second. Okay. So I'm like, okay, so he gave you that gift out of guilt or to get you to do something or to be on board with something, whatever. So you realize that, yes, you're excited about that gift, but then as a woman, as a human being, you're going to desire something else. So then he's got to do something else to fill that space because the item or the thing that you can go around and show everybody what he gave you doesn't fulfill the emptiness that you have inside. When really you want to just have a one-on-one conversation with, this is hurting me, or I don't feel this way anymore. You don't make me feel this way anymore. Versus saying that you excited about getting a bag. Or you excited about getting cologne or perfume or a diamond, and really that's just a pacifier for really what's going on inside of you. So to me, gift giving and stuff like that, I'm like, I feel like you in trouble when you kind of do that kind of stuff. Unless it's marking them on. I know I could be wrong.
Yeah, because I can't let you totally diminish that because gift giving is not your love language.
Yeah,
so because you can't say that about what is your love language. We don't need to tell everybody, but for the same cause, you don't feel that same way. But the point that you're making, I totally agree with, because you can't just make it about that one particular situation and not the rest of it. And so in the context of it, on the flip side, when you're dealing, you know, with this same big thing for single people, then all of a sudden it's this one day out of nowhere where all of a sudden single people feels this absence and this void and we don't have nowhere to go. You ain't have nowhere to go yesterday. You ain't have nowhere to go today. So why February 14th, you extra lonely? Why are you extra lonely today?
And it causes you to be so thirsty and to put you in such a vulnerable place and a vulnerable moment that really in marriage, Valentine's Day should be every day. It should be all the time. So
in your single life, you should have enough love in your language and in your friendships and relationships that you don't allow a man-made holiday to put some unforeseen pressure on you that came out of nowhere, all suppressed upon one day to put you in a moment of isolation, and now you looking to ask every question about your insecurities and your fears. What's wrong with you? Are you not good enough? Why you not pretty enough? Why you ain't married yet? Why you ain't with nobody? What are we talking about? This is February the 14th. Why are you analyzing? Why are you allowing your a man-made holiday to cause you to second guess and question your very purpose, point, and identity? If you have any value or any worth, why are you a little bit more sad on February 14th because nobody gave you a gift for one day, or if they did,
or you
perhaps
wish you had a Valentine.
Yeah, or if perhaps they was trying to manipulate you, or trying to do something or get something out of the moment, or try to do something to move the moment into something else or something deeper that can give you greater regrets for later. So at the end of the day, you have to come to this place of wrapping this in your head that even while we were single, it wasn't something we necessarily tried to overextend ourselves to practice. So we carried that into our relationship. So while we're carrying that in our relationship as married people, then just as we didn't let the pressure hit us as single people, we don't let the same pressure hit us as married people. I mean, actually on Valentine's Day, my wife spends more time loving on our kids and building candy bags with them and all that, because they're going to school, and she makes that about a point of servanthood, so that they're going to school passing out and sharing and making sure they're telling all of their classmates, not just the girls or the boys, all of their classmates, we love you, we care about you, you're important, you value, spreading that culture of honor, spreading that culture of responsibility. And hopefully our children grow up with the idea that this is a day where we share love that we already have, and not a day where we feel like we pressure to experience love or the absence of it.
Yeah, but it was funny when my husband asked me that, and he was like, so, well, what do you think about Valentine's Day, and how do you, kind of want to celebrate it? And I think maybe we had to probably be like maybe 5 or 4 years married. And it was funny because we at the beginning felt pressure, like we're supposed to go out to eat or something like that. And it was just like, this is a long line.
Corny.
This is so, I don't want to do this.
The prices are up today.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
It's not fun.
And so then I said, babe, why don't we just stay home and have a family day? So we made the kids steak and shrimp, and we had a beautiful setting on the table, and they helped us cook, and we danced to Michael Jackson while we were cooking. And it was just I have to say that was one of my fondest Valentine's Day, was hanging out with my kids, showing them love and making and preparing their favorite food for them. And because it was kind of like we were leaving and they were like, well, where y'all going? Well, why we can't go with y'all? So just making that day that it was an impression for them, because me as a little girl, the reason why Valentine's Day would even be important or instrumental to me is because my grandfather, I will never forget it, came to my house and gave me a stuffed animal. It was 7:30 at night. And he gave me a stuffed animal and some candy. And he was like, Happy Valentine's Day. And I just kind of looked at him because I was just thinking, Valentine's Day is supposed to be for lovers. It's supposed to be for married couples or boyfriend and girlfriend. My grandfather is giving me something. And he was like, I just want you to know that I love you.
Yeah.
And that is so memorable to me. And that's my foundation for Valentine's Day. So I always tried to do something for other people, because my grandfather wasn't my Valentine, but he wanted to make sure that I felt love.
But he was, because, that's the point. As believers, we're called to show love all the time, and not just on Valentine's Day. So we try to make sure that we extend that to everybody all the time. And that makes the culture, and that makes it fun. I mean, early on when we was under that pressure, and I'm spending money, and I'm doing cards, and I'm buying gifts, but and my wife would dress up for me and do her hair a little extra and makeup, and whatever happened when we get back, that was all good. But I didn't just at the end of the day, I was like, that was great, but I want that on a Friday. I want that on a Monday. I want that on February the 22nd, you know what I'm saying? Or March the 8th, just some random day. Just you pick when Valentine's Day is for me. You decide, when today is a day where you just gonna dress up and get your hair done and decide that you gonna do something a little extra and make me feel extra, or me do something extra for you, because that's then where you and your own family starts to create and cultivate this culture of love and honor and respect, and eliminate that pressure, and don't let or allow things or external forces outside of your house to dictate to you how and when you love your spouse.
But this is, to me, this is what is key, is that when you try to put it all on one day, on February 14th, and versus spreading it out throughout the year. What I found in marriage is that discernment, asking God for direction, asking God for wisdom. Just how can I love my spouse today? And just asking him for that and doing that. My husband be like, I was just thinking that I wanted that for tonight. That's what I was thinking. I wanted that. And then you have it. And that's, to me, is better than a Valentine's Day, because you didn't even speak about what you wanted or what you needed in that moment. I prayed, asked God, and I was the vessel that was love for you. I was that conduit of love for you from the Father.
And you don't gotta pray and ask God. You can just ask me. You can ask me, and I'll tell you. You don't need no discernment. You don't need no sackcloth and ashes.
You
don't need none of that.
Things.
You don't need none of that. All you need to do is say, "Hey, how may I serve you? What would you like? Is there anything that you need?" And when you ask me that, the Lord will take the guesswork out of it, because I'll say it right out my mouth, and I'll let you know what it is I desire. And that's the same point. We're aiming to please. We're aiming to serve one another every single day. I'm looking for the card. I'm writing a handwritten note. I smell something that I want to smell, that smell like you should smell, then I'm going to grab it today. It ain't Valentine's Day. My wife will tell you, she'll come home and I just got clothes laying on the bed for her, because she'll come home and I just got, here's some perfume that I felt like smelling, because I felt like smelling you like that. And it ain't nowhere. It ain't your birthday. It ain't our anniversary. It ain't Valentine's Day. It's because you're my wife, and I'm responsible for loving you the type of way that makes you feel special every single day of your life. And when we build that in and we work to love each other like that, women, men, work to love your spouse in that manner and in that way, then you make it Valentine's Day every single day. And that's the goal. Make it Valentine's Day every single day, all the time. Love each other. Love, love, love. And single people, just want to encourage you. Don't let this dumb pressure hit you tonight. And tomorrow you sitting up watching Netflix and blowing your nose and snotty and taking phone calls you should not even pay attention to, and checking and answering stuff that you would never answer to. That's dumb, because it's February 14th. It doesn't even have any bearings on who you are. That's dumb. You're valuable on the 15th. You're valuable on the 17th. You're valuable tonight on the 13th. And don't let the pressure build in or work against you. You understand what I'm saying? Don't deal with that foolishness. Love, love, love. Let love feel love, and let everybody feel love. Did you have your second point before I go to my third one, or you all set and done?
I think I said. I think I did. If not, when you're talking, I might.
No, you're not jumping in. No, it's you. Say what you got to say right now.
I do want to encourage single women, especially, because, like I always say, when I talk to single women, I've been single. I was single longer than I've been married yet. Working on that, but you need to know that you're enough, and you need to know that you're enough to the point that you don't have to cheapen yourself or lower yourself for anybody or for anybody's affection, because you feel a certain kind of way when you do that. So just know that you're enough. Know that you are great. Know that you're confident, and that the love that you have is to be given to people who want it, not people who trying to get it or manipulate it for their own good, because love is not selfish. It isn't. And whenever it becomes selfish, it's not love. So I think I'm done.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that was good advice. And I think for single guys, you just make sure that it's about the depth of the relationship. And if you're not in a relationship or you in a relationship, just aim not to be trendy. Don't let something external have to tell you that this is time to show love to your spouse. Don't do it. Like, be a romantic. Chivalry is not dead. Read it in a book if it don't come naturally. You understand? Talk it over. Like, don't ask her what she like, what she wants. You know what I'm saying? And create them little atmospheres and them little moments so you don't keep backing yourself into this corner, because we're, as men, we want to compete. You know what I'm saying? And that competition even isn't always with somebody else. Sometimes that competition is just with ourselves. It's like, man, last year I did this and I spent this much money. This year I got to spend this much money. And this year, because if I don't, she going to be looking at me like, what happened? Did I do something wrong? Last year you bought me the diamond pendant necklace. This year, you know what I'm saying? You just only brought me the pendant, you know? And so you in this pressure every time at the store trying to compete, and I got to blow her mind and all of that. And you're taking yourself through all of these unnecessary changes when you have to just set this in context in your relationship. Baby, listen, I love you, and it's not always going to be about spending money and going broke and coming home, with a gift for a day. Sometimes it's going to be about spending money. Sometimes it's going to be about spending time. Sometimes it's going to be about conversation. Sometimes it's going to be about paying attention. Sometimes it's going to be about holding your hand and going somewhere. Sometimes it's just going to be about sitting here and not making it always about the stuff. So my aim, yes, is to outdo myself, but the aim is not always to try to outbuy myself and try to purchase you exactly like you are some kind of item or something. You know what I'm saying? And that begin the game, because then guys start purchasing girls, and then girls start feeling a certain kind of way when they get purchased. That's a whole nother conversation. We shouldn't even go there tonight. But you understand what I'm saying? Don't make yourself cheap. Don't sell yourself out for some hair, some weave, or some heels, or some bills, or some makeup, or get your rent paid or your cable paid, or none of that foolishness. Understand your value and your worth every day. And so to all relationships, as we get ready to bounce up out of here, just what we practice and what we try to teach in our church and around is we practice a culture of yes, right? So we try to practice this culture of yes within the context of our marriage. How may I serve you? How may I love you? And always make sure that, for the most part, when at all possible, we always try to say yes to each other. If my wife asks me for something that she wants or needs, it is my goal, even if I can't always, but it is my goal to always say yes to her, to always come into a possibility where I never have to tell my wife no for something she wants or needs. Now, I'm not telling you never tell her no about a decision that we have to make or a choice or something, but that we practice this culture of yes, where we give in to each other, where we say yes more than we say no, right? So when she asking me something and she want to say yes, I want her to say yes. Then when I'm asking her something, I want her to tell me yes the same way. And so yes is always yes, right? Never no, always yes, no matter what it is. And so when you practice that culture of yes, it makes the environment in your home not contentious, right? It makes the environment. I know you want to say something. You can jump in. Don't have to bite your lips. But it doesn't allow the tension in your house or in your family. When you say it just when you're trying to say you want something to eat, yes. You need something to drink, yes. You need something from the store, yes. Would you like me to run an errand from you? Yes. Is there anything I can do for you? Yes. Is there something you like different about the way I talk to you? Yes. Is there something you like different about the way that I speak to you? Yes. And so when you engage in this culture of yes, then it's helpful and it's beneficial, because everybody likes to hear the word yes, right?
And then one of the things that I taught in Crowns is that we talked about this culture of yes, but I said to them, sometimes we feel overwhelmed, because it's like, if I'm saying yes to him and how I'll get all this other kind of stuff done. And I told them, I said that when you say yes, for whatever reason, God allows time to stop. or he allows other things to go in different places because you put that first. You put your husband's yes first, and he allows other things to go in place so that you have time and opportunity to do everything else. So that yes opens up, possibilities, that opens up favor, that just opens up various things for you because you put your yes out front.
Well, because that yes is a surrender.
Yeah.
And that yes is a submission. A yes is a surrender and a submission to the will or to the wants or to the needs or to the desire of the other person. That's what that yes is. I'm saying yes to your wishes, your will. I'm gonna be your yes man. You understand what I'm saying? I'm your yes man. And so in that context, that brings some strength. You see how she just acted right there? I'm trying to tell you, fellas, yes is a powerful thing. And so you want, and like my wife was saying, when you make up in your mind that you want to tell your wife or your spouse yes, when you want to tell them yes, then also does God give you the ability to always be able to tell them, to deliver that.
Yes.
Exactly. He's like, you trying, this is not selfish. This is not for you. You're trying to be in a place where you can tell your wife or your spouse yes, then that's what it is. And when you're in love properly, I know some of you are afraid. Well, what if that gets misused? And what if they take advantage? You know what I'm saying? But first of all, if you create this culture of yes, the other person will have the consciousness to make sure that they don't try to take advantage of the yes, right? Because yeses do come around. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you saying yes to get a yes, but if I give you a yes, you owe me a yes. So don't go crazy because a yes is gonna come back around, right? So don't try to take advantage of it because there'll be yeses. But then on the other hand, let's try to take advantage of it, right? Because one of our goals is to always make sure we outlove, outgive, outserve, and out yes one another. And so if everybody in the world tell you no, try to tell your spouse yes. Try to tell them yes every single day. Try to create a culture of yes, and you'll be good, right? So that's why we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. We don't celebrate Valentine's Day because we try to create it every single day.
It's a culture.
It's in our culture.
Love and honor is in our culture.
Right.
We try to love and honor each other every day. And when we don't, we make sure that we ask God for forgiveness and each other. Right. Because that's the goal. That's the ultimate goal every single day. So.
Right. So love yourself. We love you. God loves you. Love yourself. If you're married, love who you're with. I mean, if you already got the gift in the drawer, go and give it to him.
But then make a goal. Make a goal to make sure that February the 14th is not something that you celebrate once a year. That it is something that you intentionally try to do for your spouse. Intentionally. Start off with once a week, but then you really need to get to it every day because it's necessary, because our time is limited on this earth and we don't know. We just don't. So you want to make sure that you put love. My husband talked about on with our marriage me. Sorry,
Mentor
Me marriage is the love box. And so when you're asking for certain things from your relationship and from your marriage, if you didn't put it in there, why are you asking for that? Yeah. So if you want love and you want to make sure that love is intentional, then make sure that you are intentional so that you can reap exactly what you sowed into.
Yeah. And if you're single and this is your season to be single, whether it's by choice and celebration or you really wish you was in a relationship, either way and at the same point, you know what I'm saying? You got to start with loving yourself because you attract what you are. Be healthy, be whole, don't be needy, don't be in a vulnerable state where you're waiting for a holiday to tell you who you are and your value and your worth. Don't let unnecessary, stupid, unforeseen pressure men make you go broke tomorrow trying to impress some girl that's not your wife. Ladies trying to find a date tomorrow or feeling isolated tomorrow simply because you're not in a relationship. If you're not in a relationship, it's because the one that you're most attractive for, the one that you're most qualified for, that's most qualified for you, ladies and gentlemen, have not come to that point. And so have some security, understand your value and your worth, and don't try to psych yourself out and just tell yourself that while you really feel a certain way on the inside. Feel the love. Feel the love. Feel the love. Feel the fact that you didn't diminish, you didn't isolate, you didn't lose yourself, you didn't lose your identity, you didn't wait for somebody to tell you or teach you something different. Feel the love, feel that security, hold on to it, embrace it, and remember, if you're not in a relationship or if you are in a relationship, tomorrow is just February 14th.
It's Tuesday.
It's just Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Go have you some tacos.
It's Bible study.
It's Bible study tomorrow for revolutionaries. It's Bible study.
Come on and love on Jesus.
You understand what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, don't let that foolishness, that pressure hit your life. And if you marry, go and do what you're going to do. But do it tonight. Do it tomorrow. Do it Wednesday. Do it Friday. Do it every day. Because no one day is special, more special than another day. You understand what I'm saying? For God so loved us all, he wants us to show love to everybody, every single day. So find somebody, show love, spread love. All right? We good? That's good. Right. That's what the world needs now. It needs some love. This is it. We out, right? So we love you. We're glad that you are here. And we're glad that you connected with us tonight. We hope you got something out of this. All right? Make sure that you love, because you can't take love out if you don't put love in.
Yep.
All right? Culture of yes. Peace. That's why we don't celebrate Valentine's Day.